Hello, my name is Kyle Paget. Today I'm going to talk about the effect of brain injuries on athletes. Now, the first brain injury, which is most common in the youth, is concussions. And that's described as a violent shock to the head, causing the brain to crash against the skull. And some symptoms of this could be headaches, nausea, dizziness, changes in vision, fatigue, or even sensitivity to light and sound. And in some cases, you can lose consciousness, but most cases you do not. There are 300,000 reported cases in contact sports in the US. CTE, which is a more developed form of concussion, it's more of a long-term effect, and it's called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And that causes cognitive impairments, memory loss, and depression associated with other forms of dementia. And this is the repercussion of repetitive brain injuries. This happens a lot to athletes in the NFL and hockey, wrestling, soccer, doing headers all the time. And in 2015, 96% of the retiring NFL players were diagnosed with CTE. Aaron Hernandez is a very famous case of this. He was found with stage 3 out of 4 CTE, which is very staggering. And there are also many lawsuits regarding CTE and brain injuries. There are dozens of WWE wrestlers that are in a lawsuit with WWE over those brain injuries they've occurred throughout their time wrestling. And there's countless lawsuits against the NFL, and it amounts to almost $1 billion. There are over 100 hockey players that are suing the NFL currently. A few cases you might have heard of are Mike Webster, who is a star for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he went crazy. And Terry Long, who was also on the Steelers, he was a lineman. He died hours after drinking antifreeze, and then post-mortem he was diagnosed with CTE. And there's also Junior Seau, who was a Patriots linebacker. He shot himself in the chest, and also post-mortem he was diagnosed with CTE. Also, there is Justin Strzelczyk, who also was on the Steelers. He was an offensive tackle and went crazy and sped dangerously on the freeway and eventually died in a car crash, which is horrible. Now, there are ways to prevent getting concussions and eventually CTE and just repetitive brain trauma. You can stop playing dangerous sports altogether, or you can use safer equipment. But I understand kids are going to want to play these sports, so you can start them off with, say, flag football. You can play that until high school, and you can even play non-contact hockey or street hockey. And regarding equipment, it can be very costly for schools to do that every single year, and for clubs to do that every single year, get new equipment, but it's going to far outweigh dealing with CTE and just repetitive brain trauma.